Alright, here we go. Before we start the episode, just gotta quickly do something. So here we go. I know I don't usually do this. This is only my second time doing this, but here we go. Shout out to JA's Gaming. He did X for me to shout him out. I have not done shout outs since like 2016. So, and the way I did it in 2016 was actually, I took a very long time to speak. So I'm gonna try to make this one snappy. Did I say the word snappy? Where? To just, start humorous mode. Here. So there you go, JA's Gaming. I just kept it for this picture because I'm too lazy to actually edit this. But yeah, he does upload a whole bunch of Book Revolution stuff. He does do his own Book Revolution stuff. And actually some other games, unlike me, where I just do wrestling related games. And it was my, and if I still had the same type of content like what I had in 2016 with the NFL and NBA stuff, and if I upload them as much as I do for wrestling stuff, current day, then it'll be more diverse, but I just stopped doing it. Anyway, it's not about me, so yeah, there you go. Subscribe to JA's Gaming. He has some good content, so yeah, just do it, please. And if you don't, well then, I don't know, I'm not gonna do anything. I try to make up a threat. Yeah, just please do it, and without further ado, let's start the video. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Later on tonight, in the main event, it's the rematch from SummerSlam. Kenny Omega defends his hardcore championship against Wade Barrett. Of course, this matchup did happen at SummerSlam, but under controversial circumstances that I currently cannot remember. But if I do remember correctly, I believe Wade Barrett tapped out to Omega, or it's like he kicked out in the last second, or he tapped out, and like Omega let go of the submission very quickly. Like it was only like one tap out. I don't know. Bottom line, something happened with Barrett and Omega. I currently can't remember because that's like at the time of me recording this episode of ECW, that SummerSlam stuff was like 2 weeks ago, so I can't really remember the matchup. I think it was under controversial circumstances in which Omega won, but not us say that will be the main event. And let's we're not gonna actually simulate, we're actually gonna do matches. Wow, I cannot come up with anything. Like seriously though, it's like I always either make more matches or make less matches for an episode, or I simulate, I don't simulate, I do one matchup, I do two matches, I do 5 matches, sometimes I even do 6 matches back then. Yeah, this is just a whole mess. I'm not sure if we're just going to continue like what we used to do, in which I just do a full 5 matches, or just simulate 3 and then do the other 2. We're just going to do a full 5 here. I can't make up my mind, so let's just like start this. And here we go, as advertised in one of the latest episodes of Humorous Mode. I think it was last episode of ECW, but could have also been advertised on like last episode of Raw or SmackDown, as there's some weird noise happening outside. Lita takes on Velvet Sky to kick things off here on ECW. Women's action here in ECW, full 5 matches. To be fair, if I actually was simulating 3 matches and doing 2, the 2 matches that we would have done was this first matchup and of course the main event, and we'll simulate all the other 3, but no, we're not doing that this time. Just going back to doing 5, I guess. Anyway, now here we go. Lita and Velvet Sky, winner of this matchup, definitely gains some utmost important momentum, more than anyone else here in the ECW women's division, as of course champion, ECW Women's Champion, of course, is still Sonya Deville. She successfully defeated both Lita and Asuka in a triple threat in the latest episode of ECW. Now Lita on top of the ladder. What can she be going for here? And there we go, Swanton. Right to Velvet Sky. Kick things off here on an extreme note. What ECW does best in Velvet Sky, she's not going to sell it. Kicking out 1 and DDT. Leaping DDT. Wow, Lita pulling out all the stops already in this matchup. Velvet Sky on the outside of the ring. Lita just decides, hell, why not? Swanton off the ladder to the outside of the ring, and Velvet Sky, she's not even phased, countering that with her crown, and Lita double underhook into a powerbomb there. Winner of this one, well, they definitely prove that they deserve it, because so far it's been one hell of a contest, and we're not even officially 2 minutes into a matchup. Schoolboy roll by Velvet Sky, stealing the victory here too, only a 2 count. Well, at least trying to get a quick victory, not necessarily stealing the victory, but trying to get a quick one before Lita could even comprehend what just happened. And now Lita has her in their mind, trying to go for a suplex of some sorts. Velvet Sky able to counter. Of course, there is a whole lot of good women here for the ECW Women's division, along with Raw and SmackDown. But for ECW, our respective roster is Velvet Sky, Lita, Asuka, current ECW Women's Champion Sonya Deville, along with Paige and Nia Jax. And so, out of those 6 women, first ever ECW Women's Champion, Sonya Deville, she won that in like a whole 6-woman battle royal or something like that a long time ago, and she's been champion ever since. She successfully defended against Lita and Asuka in the triple threat, so she's been doing pretty well for herself. And we just need to see who could be the next one to defeat her. Definitely who could be the next one to defeat her. It definitely has to be Nia Jax, but we don't know. Nia hasn't necessarily gotten any opportunities to face off. To have an opportunity to face off against Sonya Deville, so we necessarily don't really know. But once Nia does get the opportunity, who knows? Sonya Deville could lose the ECW championship by then. Anyway, pinfall, only a 2 count for Lita, and now Velvet Sky trying to get the upper hand here on top of the announcer's table here. Never mind, both women. Velvet Sky just running away from Lita here. Grabs the ladder now, trying to set something up. And Lita drop kick the Velvet Sky onto the ladder. Through the ladder she goes, and now here we go. What's Lita looking for here? Don't tell me Swanton onto the ladder. Velvet Sky again squashed, and once again she gets back up. And wait, plunger by Velvet Sky. Now Sky, she's looking to layer one of her own here. Splash to Lita. Lita again squashed against layer 2, and only a 2 count. These women pulling out all the stops here just to gain momentum for the ECW Women's Championship, just to climb up the power rankings here. As of right now, Lita definitely is higher than Velvet Sky. Sky hasn't been having all the main matches, so this is a good matchup for her to win here. Knight and Hurricanrana by Lita and Velvet Sky. Man, she looks hopeless here. And Lita Swanton once again into the cover. Second time's the charm here, and yes, it is 3 count. Lita picks up the victory. Swanton for a 2nd time in this matchup. Swanton onto Velvet Sky, while Velvet Sky is on top of the now broken down ladder. And just like that, Lita picks up the victory here tonight. Good victory for Lita. Quick victory for Lita as well. But that was one hell of a contest for the couple of minutes that it went on for. Anyway, now as we move on here, Shane Douglas and Raven. This is gonna be a matchup, just another momentum matchup. Raven, ironically enough, the first ever ECW champion here in years mode, with Raven being the first ever ECW champion. That's one hell of an achievement for Raven. But ever since he lost the ECW championship, he hasn't been doing all that well, and just gets caught by Shane Douglas. Ever since Raven lost the ECW title a while back to Baron Corbin, and then Corbin losing it to Minoru Suzuki. Of course, Suzuki's been holding the title ever since. Yeah, just things have not been going on well for Raven. He's gone off the radar along with Baron Corbin. Guess that's the curse of being ECW champion. You soon go off the radar, but a win here tonight against the franchise Shane Douglas could definitely give Raven that utmost important momentum. But Shane Douglas, he's the one who needs the victory the most. Of course, Shane Douglas, he has gotten a couple opportunities. He's had a shot for the lightweight championship against back when Neville was the lightweight champion. He got that shot at the Sin ECW exclusive pay-per-view a long time ago, well, a while back. And Shane, he lost the matchup against Neville, but he did pull off one hell of a challenge for Neville. Of course, Chris Jericho, currently the lightweight champion. Neville does have his rematch clause for the lightweight championship, however. Anyway, now Shane Douglas, sleeper hold here to Raven, and Raven counters with a snapmare. Of course, Raven, very dangerous man, so is, I guess I could say somewhat so is Shane Douglas. I believe Shane Douglas has also had a matchup previously against Taz in one of the episodes of ECW or Metal, and well, I think that was Metal, and I think he did lose to Taz. So Shane Douglas definitely needs victory. And now Raven off the top of the rope, knee drop right to Douglas. And now Raven, former ECW champion, needs to look to get back in the title hunt. He hasn't even been in the title hunt for not even the Hardcore Championship that Kenny Omega defends later on tonight against Wade Barrett, of course, in the main event. And when now Raven, just a punch to Douglas, and Douglas is very slightly busted open. And now Raven, what's he looking for here? Has the camera and bringing down Douglas onto the outside of the ring. And now this is when things get just a tad bit more dangerous. Raven could just use the camera, and yes, he does. Of course, an unprotected headshot with that camera. And, well, Raven Flow DDT out of nowhere with the camera onto the steel steps, I believe. Shane, he has to be knocked out cold, but Raven, he's turned into a submission. He's not letting go. He's not pinning Shane Douglas. I think Shane Douglas' head just bounced off the sharp edge of the steel steps, and Raven, he just went onto the steel steps himself. Douglas trying to gain the upper hand off of that, but no. Now, figure four lock by Raven. Well, this matchup has taken a couple of turns for the worse for Douglas. Hurricanrana counter 1, 2, and only a 2 count for Raven. Douglas just hit his head across the sharp edge of the steel steps moments ago. Don't know how Douglas is still even have the consciousness to even be back up. But hey, he's persevering in this matchup. He's trying to persevere. And now he's just trying to gain the upper hand against Raven. So is Raven. Much needed momentum for both these two men, perhaps. At least get higher for the hardcore tile rankings. So we shall see. Whether or not if Wade Barrett becomes the new champion or if Omega retains his title. Elbow. Only a 2 count. Raven perhaps either underestimating Shane Douglas, or he just wants to get this match over with. He wants to just quickly get his match over with, get his night over with, and well, just wants to quickly get this done before he could take any more damage. Which so far Shane Douglas has been taking most of the damage. Raven, as time progresses and as he takes more, not gonna help him out all that much. Anyway, now off the snapmare knee drop by the former ECW champion, and now just choking Shane Douglas out, trying to choke the life out of Douglas. All legal here, of course, in ECW. Anyway, now Douglas just getting shoved for his troubles by Raven, and now Raven, well, never mind, Douglas, well, Raven getting the upper hand, never mind, and now Bulldog into a crossface. What strength by Raven just to keep it locked in, and now 2, can this one be it? 3, a crossface off of a Bulldog, and that gets Raven victory. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was nice. That was a very great move. That was a good move by Raven, just being able to have the strength, just to have the grip to able to not only connect with a Bulldog, but like shortly after the Bulldog, able to just still keep a crossface locked in, and then just letting it go, pinning Shane Douglas. Douglas has no idea what happened to him. Anyway, here we go, another matchup here. We usually have the ECW logo loop around while we talk, but no, we're going to quickly get all this over with. As Sin Cara, he takes on the man formerly known as Dean Ambrose. He takes on Jon Moxley, of course. Ambrose, and beginning of Universe mode, he did have a whole rivalry with Adam Cole that lasted, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. It wasn't a long rivalry. So yeah, and also, well, then after that, he just took a new persona in, well, being known as Jon Moxley. Of course, Ambrose / Moxley, but we're just going to call him by his new name, which is Jon Moxley. He hasn't been doing all that well. He hasn't been showcased all that much, and when he has, he's like lost matches. For example, back in week 13 when Corey Graves debuted, it was a successful debut. It was. He did just absolutely almost demolish Moxley. And for Sin Cara, he's been showcased a couple of times. He's gotten a couple of victories, I believe. He's also had a couple of hard-fought losses and a couple of hard-fought victories, I believe. So Sin Cara, you know, he's like in the middle here in ECW, while Moxley is somewhat in the bottom. But you definitely gotta think whoever wins this matchup definitely gets higher than each other. Anyway, now Sin Cara, of course, like he is almost every time when he has another matchup in ECW, he just sporting a new attire. Anyway, Moxley, well, I thought he was gonna go off the top rope off the back German suplex to the outside just a couple of seconds ago. Sin Cara taking a nasty fall to the outside, and now just wrenching the face with the broomstick just across the face of Sin Cara. Very innovative by Moxley. And now Jon Moxley grabbing the legs and all, just a kick right to the groin of Sin Cara. A couple of them. It's going to make sure the high flyer doesn't have any more future kids, and also make it more difficult for him to actually do any of his high flying. Anyway, now ankle lock wrenching back and forth by Moxley, turning it into a surfboard submission maneuver now. What? Well, that's definitely innovative. What strength by Moxley being showcased right there. What technique. But Sin Cara able to escape. Sin Cara not going to give up just yet. Anyway, now with the broomstick here, what's he planning to do with it? Arm drag. Well, I thought he was going to strike Moxley with it, but no. And now arm bar with the broomstick. Now, that's what he called innovative as well. Anyway, now, Sin Cara, well, almost had the upper hand on Moxley. And what a clothesline. Jumping clothesline. Can this one be it? 2. Well, there's 2 count and only 2 count. Anyway, now Moxley, powerbomb onto the outside. And Sin Cara counters with her crown. 1. Almost just trying to, I guess, steal the victory. Well, not necessarily, but, you know, trying to catch Moxley off guard there. And now another ankle lock once again. But that was a nice hurt crown to just try to escape the powerbomb position and pin. Anyway, now surfboard by Sin Cara, doing the same thing Moxley did a couple of seconds ago, where he turned the ankle lock into a surfboard himself. Anyway, now another crossface clutch by Jon Moxley onto the outside. Of course, there's a lead pipe, there's steel steps. There's still the broomstick. There's just so many weapons on the outside. There's also a table. So now Sin Cara once again with the ankle lock, wearing down Moxley. If this does make Moxley tap out, well then Jon Moxley definitely has not been having a good Universe Mode series for these past 21 weeks. Or 21 episodes, because to be fair, it's almost been a whole year of this whole series being a thing. By now, we should at least be a couple more pay-per-views in. Anyway, off the side, Rush Lex, we were very close to count 2.9/4. Wait, did I say 9/4? Well, 2.9 and 3/4, basically. I don't know. That's what I get for trying to do math. Anyway, back suplex onto concrete on the outside by Jon Moxley, and now Sin Cara has him. Never mind, trying to go for like her crown or leaping DT, power slam counter, and that's the 3 count. Jon Moxley picks up the victory. Good victory for Moxley. Nice hard fought battle against Sin Cara. Hard fought loss by Sin Cara. As we now move on to tag team action, Hayabusa and Tiger Mask. Hayabusa, the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Champion. So yeah, that's not associated here in this Universe Mode at all. They take on the Ascension. The Ascension, of course, the only memorable thing the Ascension have done in all of Universe Mode so far has only been answering Abyss's and Matt Morgan's ECW Tag Team Championship Open Challenge. Back for the ECW Sin pay-per-view back in like week 13. So that was a while ago. That was a while back. Ever since then, they haven't even been all that accurate. And Hayabusa and Tiger Mask at the same Sin pay-per-view, they lost the #1 contenders matchup to Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Of course, Harper and Rowan, they are now the new tag team champions. They successfully defeated the what seemed like undefeated team of Abyss and Matt Morgan. Abyss and Matt Morgan, they held the tag titles, these two tag titles. They held it for 20 exact episodes, 20 exact weeks. And they finally lost at SummerSlam, but they still have their rematch clause for the tag titles. And we now heard Karana by Tiger Mask to, that is, Victor of the Ascension. And now Hayabusa just a dragon screw leg whip. And Connor taking on Hayabusa. Dropkick by Connor there to Hayabusa. Don't usually see the big man do such, high flying maneuvers like that. Well, definitely whoever wins this matchup. Once again, momentum. Momentum, the main thing for all of Universe Mode, all these 1-1 matches, all these tag team matches, they lead to perhaps getting a #1 contender's shot. Or you could easily make your own statement. You don't have to climb the rankings. You could easily make your own statement. Try to get ahead of the crowd if you want to. You just have to find a way to. And we now Victor Brainbuster to Tiger Mask. And Connor and Hayabusa continue their hostilities. And now Victor setting up a table here, has the guitar in hand, perhaps setting up for Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask doesn't even know it's dropkick to Connor by Tiger Mask. Another dropkick to Connor. Well, Victor Hurricanrana. He gets Hurricanrana for shows by Hayabusa. Connor not able to get there in time, and well, wow. Hayabusa picks up the victory. Hayabusa and Tiger Mask picking up the victory over the Ascension, thanks to the Hurricanrana by Hayabusa to Victor. Connor, well, he was occupied taking on Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask keeping Connor away from breaking down the pin. So there we go. And before we get on to our main event, ladies and gentlemen, next week, next episode of ECW, Finn Balor, he will acknowledge his victory against Corey Graves. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, at the SummerSlam pay-per-view, it was Finn Balor's and Corey Graves' final total end-off matchup. Their final matchup to end off their rivalry. It was like a 7-week rivalry. Their 7-week rivalry concluded when Finn Balor defeated Corey Graves at SummerSlam, and Balor, he acknowledges his victory in the next episode of ECW. Who knows, perhaps Corey Graves could come out and continue the rivalry even longer, but as of now, that rivalry, it's done. It's all scrapped up in the history books. It is now officially over. Balor gets the last laugh. I don't think he's gotten as much laughs, but he's definitely gotten the last laugh against Corey Graves in that whole 7-week rivalry. Anyway, now, here we go. Main event time. Wade Barrett, Kenny Omega. Wade Barrett's rematch clause. He's cashing it in here tonight. If Barrett loses, he's just going to have to go to the back of the line for the title. Of course, Wade Barrett won the #1 contenders battle royal a couple episodes back. And he's been #1 contender ever since then. He lost to Omega at SummerSlam for the championship. And now here tonight, Barrett uses his rematch clause. If Barrett loses here tonight, he goes to the back of the line, and someone else gets an opportunity for Omega's ECW Hardcore Television Championship. And now Omega, what's he doing here? Just setting up. There's 3 tables on the outside. He's already put one closer to inside the ring. And now stacking tables here is Kenny Omega throwing the tennis racket. Jim Cornette not too happy about that. That's perhaps Jim Cornette's tennis racket. Anyway, now what's this here? Well, Omega stacking 3 tables now. Kenny just making ECW his whole playground here. Wade Barrett grabbing the steel chair. He knows what's at stake here. And now Omega standing up in the middle of the ring. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let the chaos begin. Body slam by Barrett. And immediately 1 table is gone. Wade Barrett not having any of it. 2 tables are left. And now Barrett setting up the second one. And now Tombstone power driver by Omega out of nowhere into the pin. 1, 2, and almost getting the victory. A quick victory for Omega. Almost just tapping and Barrett with the steel chair. Nicely done. Everything is legal and unprotected. Headshot right there. Trying to get an easy victory. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Omega still has the willpower to kick out very early on in this matchup. And now Fishman suplex to the second table. Omega 1, 2. His dirty work is paying off. Well, not dirty work, handiwork, crafty work. Paying off with those tables. And now V-trigger. But at the same time he connects with a V-trigger, I guess Wade Barrett almost whooshed Omega out in the air with a double axe handle. Well, this matchup taking a crazy start. Things could easily turn for the worst once that third table comes into play. Which just might. And Omega brainbuster, but he lands on top and he just failed. And now Barrett setting up the table once again, because remember we could do that. And Omega going through the table once again. Barrett setting it up once again. Barrett going through the table. He wants to do the table spot here. Omega's not going to let him. And Omega is shoving him down. And now Kenny, well, trying to set up for something there. And now V-trigger. Barrett falls through the third table. Can this one be a 2 count and only a 2 count? All 3 tables have been of use. The third one being used more than once, but on multiple different accidental occasions. Brainbuster onto the broken table by Omega. Kenny Omega looking to retain his championship here tonight. And now, with the steel chair on top of the ropes, shooting star press into a crossbody. With the steel chair, 2 and only a 2 count. Kenny Omega pulling out all the stops here. And now Barrett counters with a DDT. Barrett just got delivered a shooting star press into a crossbody with a steel chair. And he's not even phased. Omega, what a maneuver. I don't even think he was originally going for a crossbody. Originally, he just went for a shooting star press. Turned into a crossbody later on. Midway when Barrett was getting back up. Speaking of which, was Omega looking for here? Waiting for Barrett. And dropkick to their minds. Barrett catching him with a power slam. I think Omega was going for a dropkick to the back of the head or the back. Bottom line didn't work out well for him. And now Wade Barrett, double axe handle to the outside, crushes and burns. Does Kenny Omega. And now Omega with the monkey flip onto the concrete lands Barrett. He's not even phased at all. Omega, he's hurt. And now Barrett wearing him down on the outside with the headlock. Imagine Barrett was to get a victory like that, but it's not going to be all that easy. Kenny Omega, a very resilient opponent. And we're now just taking down Wade Barrett. And now, sharpshooter here. But does soon Barrett able to escape it. And now, well, Barrett looking to gain an upper hand here, but Omega not going to let him with multiple kicks. And now, Wade Barrett, never mind, Omega. It's Barrett with the Northern Light suplex. Barrett gained the upper hand, multiple back and forth occasions right there between Omega and Barrett. And now another steel chair perhaps coming into play here. Wade, can he use it in time? Yes, he does. And now Wade Barrett once again perhaps choke slam with the steel chair onto the concrete. Omega is being dished out a whole lot of punishment here in the hands of Wade Barrett. One more steel chair shot for good measure, and only a 1 count. Kenny Omega is still alive and kicking in this matchup. Omega taunting, and well, he saw that coming some ways somehow, dodging the double axe handle from Wade Barrett. And now the golf club, Omega, he's gonna swing for the fences, and yes, he does. Multiple shots, 2 shots, and now just a Canadian destroyer onto the outside with the golf club. Omega throwing the golf club at Barrett shortly after the Irish whip, and now misses the V-trigger. Barrett sidesteps it, and now Omega shoving him down. What's Kenny looking for here? Throws the golf club at Barrett, and V-trigger perfectly placed. The golf club dazed in Wade Barrett, and then the V-trigger to end it off, and once again a second V-trigger. Omega looking for a third here. V-trigger mania once again. Of course, Omega, he had a whole V-trigger mania where he did multiple V-triggers to both Taz and Test back at the ECW Sin pay-per-view. In the triple threat, of course, Omega retained his title. Another V-trigger. But in order for him to retain the title, he had to do so many V-triggers to test. And Test, he did so many to test that Test even started to bleed. And now Samoan drop by Kenny Omega. Well, he started to bleed more than what Wade Barrett is currently. It was a whole lot of bloodshed for Test, I believe. Or was it Taz? I can't remember. Or was it both? Bottom line, Omega, the sharp knee, so Omega helps him out. And now, can this one be it? On top steel steps. Here we go. One winged angel. Barrett. Well, he's going to get delivered to him once again. Never mind. Bit by body drop. Omega should have stuck with one. Because Barrett reversing the second one, but he just landed. Well, he just fell off the steel steps there on Omega. He's still on top steel steps. Perhaps going to go for another one winged angel onto the steel steps. Because the first one, it didn't land Barrett through it, but landed on top of it. Drop kick there. Omega, I think the back of his head. Well, some part of his body must have hit, like, the bed. I said bed. I mean back of the head. Or upper back, perhaps. And now brainbuster into the outside. But no, let's say those two body parts where I can't talk. Must have landed on steel steps. And now Omega. Never mind. Wait, bad brainbuster. To Kenny. We could have a new hardcore champion. And his name could soon be Wade Barrett. We shall see. But Barrett, he is limping. He is hurt. Omega has not taken equally as much damage as Barrett. Barrett has taken more damage than Omega. And went out thumbtacks or sub. And I think that could go cost Wade Barrett. There it is. Samoan drop onto the thumbtacks. That definitely did cost Wade Barrett. And now Omega laying down thumbtacks underneath Barrett. And just a shooting star press. Barely connecting. And now Omega, what's this? Tombstone onto the thumbtacks. Jesus. And now a second tombstone onto the thumbtacks. Once again. Damn it. Barrett have family. Omega 3 tombstones. Can this one be only a 2 count? Barrett, he's still alive. Power slam. Wade Barrett will not die. He is not gonna die. He will not die. And Omega, I think he's just had about enough. Perhaps a one-winged angel onto the thumbtacks could easily be enough for Barrett. Dragon screw leg whip. Omega 3 tombstone power drivers. That's a total of 4 in this matchup, but 3 in a row onto his thumbtacks, and now with the thumbtacks squashed against the legs of Barrett. Omega aiming after the legs, steel chair shots to the legs of Barrett, and now will Barrett counter in favor for leg lock, reversing the pressure. And now Barrett can't get the upper hand here. He's gonna have to use the thumbtacks. He did bring the thumbtacks into the ring. Now he's just gonna have to use them because so far they've backfired on him. Misses the first shot. Omega misses the V trigger, ducking underneath where Wade Barrett was going for, and now Barrett. What's going to do here? Going to try to set up ankle lock with the bag of thumbtacks, dropping it down. Shortly after, now Barrett, off the ropes, goes Kenny, and Barrett just a double axe handle. Desperation cover, only a 2 count. Barrett should have done a power slam or something like that to Kenny into the thumbtacks. Whooping better, and well, Omega, Kenny Omega, wearing him down, using those thumbtacks to his advantage. Bag of thumbtacks once again scattered across the ECW ring. And Omega, he's been using that to his advantage so many times so far. And ladies and gentlemen, I did say a couple minutes ago that we could have a new ECW hardcore television champion, and his name could easily be Wade Barrett, but at this point, probably not. V-trigger sends Wade Barrett literally flying. What a maneuver by Kenny. Steel chair shots to the legs. Now what's this? Omega. Never mind. Barrett just stumbling over. He doesn't have enough left in the tank to stand up one winged angel. Barrett is back up though. Resiliency, adrenaline. I don't know what's driving this man Wade Barrett, but he just keeps kicking out, and he just keeps getting back up for more punishment from Kenny Omega. Barrett will not die. The heart of a champion. But now, the only way Barrett could prove that he has the heart of a champion fully is to fully become the champion. But now Omega once again sent up thumbtacks across the legs of Barrett, and steel chair shot onto the legs, going on to the thumbtacks as well. Omega figure for the lock. Can he end it off here? Barrett's legs have been squashed by a chair and then just landing on thumbtacks, and Barrett still gets out of it. Barrett wants to become hardcore champion so badly. But what drive will it take? DDT onto the thumbtacks there. Can that one actually be it for Omega 2? Only a 2 count. Barrett, he's busted open. He is weakened. He's bleeding from the mouth. He has spat blood from the mouth a couple of seconds ago, midway when he was falling. He is hurt. This man is hurt. To what limit can Barrett go to? Omega, he's just enjoying this. just taunting to the crowd. He knows that Barrett perhaps is fully done for in this matchup. One more one-winged angel, one more V-trigger, one more tombstone, one more anything perhaps. And that could easily end off Wade Barrett in this matchup. Omega now. Barrett, he can't even get up, he can't even crawl. Barrett isn't even struggling to crawl off the steel chair shot. And now Omega has him up. One-winged angel to Wade Barrett now. What's this? Another one. A second one-winged angel. 2 and 3. Kenny Omega has retained the ECW Hardcore Television Championship. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what a matchup right there. What resiliency, what heart, the fight, the will to compete, the will to not die. Wade Barrett had it all in the matchup, but at the end of the day, the cleaner Kenny Omega proves that he is simply better than Wade Barrett at SummerSlam, and proves that he is simply better than Wade Barrett here tonight. Wade Barrett, sorry buddy, but you're going to have to go to the back of the line. Barrett has now lost. He's lost in his regular matchup. He lost his rematch clause matchup, which just happened a couple seconds ago. Barrett, of course, you lose your rematch clause. You go to the back of the line. And that's sadly the case for Barrett. Omega picks up the victory, but at what cost has he done? Because he's taking some damage in the matchup. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting word here. Omega, he has a microphone now. We're going to have to cut the cameras back. Omega, I think he has something to say. And indeed, the cleaner Kenny Omega does. A victory for Kenny Omega, he says. Once again, he retains the Hardcore Championship. He's so called in his mind the best here in ECW. That has to somewhat be true, but also an understatement. Minoru Suzuki, of course, the ECW champion. Omega, he's not going to challenge. He's not going to challenge him. Now, Omega, what's this? The praise. And well, NXT, Omega, talking about NXT here, calling the main title basically a participation award for showing up to the show. Well, that's definitely not true, Omega. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, of course, not too long ago. And what's this? Omega challenging NXT to a 4-on-4 Survivor Series tag matchup. What's gone into Omega? Does he just want to prove that he's better than ECW? That he's better than NXT, I mean? And for some reason, he's the leader. Calling out General Manager Batista now. Gather up the NXT roster. What? And of course, Omega ending off that signature so long and goodnight bang, quote unquote. What? Kenny Omega? What's gone into Kenny? From Kenny Omega calling out the NXT roster, saying they get all the praise. Well, that's not true. I mean, Omega, he gets the praise. Like, he has had a great matchup against Barrett. He had a brutal, great matchup against Barrett literally just a couple minutes ago. Like, literally a couple seconds ago as well, kind of. And Omega just calling out the NXT roster, calling out GM manager for the NXT, Batista, saying that it's just filled with rookies and old-timers. And that the title, the NXT Championship, basically a participation award for showing up to the show. That's not true. I mean, Chad Guerrero, he's been one hell of an NXT champion since winning it from Mr. Perfect. And well, I got no idea here. Well, Omega challenging NXT to Survivor Series. Well, we already knew it was gonna be Team Raw versus Team SmackDown at Survivor Series. So far, Raw hasn't said anything. We shall see if SmackDown says anything in Raw before Survivor Series, but ECW, they were just going to be there. They were just going to have their own thing. It was going to be an ECW title matchup. It was going to be an ECW Hardcore title matchup. The tag titles will be defended in the pre-show. The women's title will have a spot on the card as well. But Omega apparently doesn't want that, making ECW challenge NXT. NXT weren't even scheduled to be at Survivor Series. They're their own separate thing. Well, Omega, not necessarily challenging NXT. We shall see on whether or not if NXT just simply answered the challenge or not. And apparently, Omega, he's also gotten permission from ECW General Manager Paul Heyman. He is the leader of Team ECW, or excuse me, Team Omega in his terms, with a better ring to it. There we go. Well, we shall see if NXT responds. Thank you all for watching this episode. Catch you all in the next one. And goodbye.